Hey guys, I'm Elliott. This is Everything Elliott, and this is a new to me gooseneck equipment trailer. So this one is a little bit different than my old one, but that's really not what this is about. I mean, it's kind of about this trailer. Today we're gonna go through everything you need to know when buying a used trailer. So obviously when first going to look at a trailer, it's probably not going to be at your house like this one is at mine already, but I did these things at the previous owner's house, checked out the trailer, realized it was for me, and purchased it. So now that we're home, I'm gonna go through everything with you because, well, I find it really awkward filming at other people's houses. Well, at least people that I don't know. I'm cool with friends. I'm cool with making friends uncomfortable, but I'm not gonna put a stranger on blast like that. Anyway, couple things. First things first, get underneath that trailer, check that frame out. You're gonna be looking for rust and rot. Rust really isn't a big deal. It's the rot you wanna look for. Now, if you see general rust just like this, it's really not that big of a deal. You can see that's just kind of, well, it's just kind of paint fading and from chain marks and stuff. And we're actually gonna put this trailer up on the lift and we're gonna take a look underneath it. Next thing you're gonna wanna do is obviously check the tires. Go around, make sure all the tires have good tread depth. You want matching tires. Now, do the tread patterns necessarily need to match? No, but you want the same exact size. So if you look here, this is a 235 80 16, and it's got a load range of F, which is 36, I don't know if you can read that, 3,600 pounds basically at 95 PSI. Let's come over here. It's upside down, but the same thing, 235 80 16. Go check the other side. What do we got over here? 235 80 16 and 235 80 16. So we have 4 matching tires. Now, tires are going to be kind of like a thing that you can decide on whether or not you're getting a good enough price on the trailer where you're willing to put tires on it. But if you're paying full value for it and it needs 4 tires, plan on investing at least $500, and at least in big equipment trailers like this. I mean, if you're getting a little utility trailer, 200 bucks. But minimum of $400. The next thing is going to require a little bit of planning on your part. You're going to want to check the wheel bearings, and I'll show you how to do that. I'm actually going to put this up on the lift, well, because I'm going to check my bearings. And I need it on the lift anyway, so I can show you underneath. Word to the wise, if you're gonna put a big trailer up on a lift like this, make sure you put it a couple feet off the ground and give it a good shake. Make sure it's not gonna fall off the lift. These can be really awkward to put up on a car lift. Checking the wheel bearings is pretty simple. You're just gonna be grabbing the tire top and bottom and giving it a shake. Now you should feel a minuscule amount of play because trailer wheel bearings aren't meant to be just super tight. You want just enough that you can be like, all right, I can feel a bearing in there. And then while you're here, give it a spin. So I'm hearing something in there. Can you hear it? That doesn't sound like a bearing to me. What that sounds to me is a rock. Got into the brake drum or something like that. That's what it sounds like. Well, yeah, we'll check them. So yeah, just go around, do all 4 or 2 or 6, however many you have. And this one isn't gonna spin because it's locked against the arm of the lift. I'm gonna go check the other side. This tire over here, I don't know if you could hear that on camera, sounds like it has balancing beads in it. So that tire on the far side that I just spun, I don't know if you could hear it, but it actually sounds like it's got balancing beads in it. And we'll go do it again so you know what that sounds like. So listen carefully. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it over the brake, but you can kind of hear something tumbling in the tire. It Sounds like balancing beads, which is not uncommon on trailers. Normally trailer tires are not balanced, but if they get a lot of vibration and stuff, the tire company will put a couple balancing beads in it to kind of even it out. So once you do the bearings, you've done the tires, you've done the bearings. Well, I told you to look underneath at the beginning, but we're gonna put this thing all the way up in the air and give it a good look. All right, now that this thing is safely in the air, let's give you a look underneath, show you what it looks like. Nothing crazy exciting under here, just some metal, but as you can see, there's really no real concerning rust. Now, obviously we've got some paint kind of chipping, a little bit of rust there, but it's just paint chip. There is no rot, which is a good thing. We've got a lot more paint peeling on the axle here. The axles always peel first, always. I don't know if it's because they're lower to the ground and they see more salt. I'm in a salt state, so in the wintertime the state pretty much dumps the Atlantic Ocean on our streets to melt the ice. If you live in a, I don't know, southern state that doesn't have snow, this probably is not a concern of yours. But essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean under here and then I'll undercoat it. So while we're under here, we're also going to inspect the springs. So this is going to be your spring pack right here, and obviously since this is dual axle, we have a second over there, and then 3 and 4. All you're going to be doing is looking in here, making sure you don't see any obvious cracks, anything crazy like that. Make sure that the springs are all in line. You don't want them kind of one this way, one this way, one this way, one this way. That generally means there's a problem. Just look over all 4, make sure they're in good shape, and I see a problem. I did not see this earlier. So this brake has no electrical coming out of it. See the hole right there? It's supposed to be electrical coming out of it, similar to this right there. And this one right there. And that one right there. So this brake has no power to it. That means it doesn't have any, wait a minute, JK, it's right there. I'm such a silly goose. Such a silly goose. And this is also good to note. You can look at this axle tag. A lot of these will have axle tags on them if your trailer's not old enough. And you should see the GVWR right there. If it'll focus, 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 focus. 7,000 pounds. So this is a 14,000 pound trailer, and it probably weighs, I don't know, in the ballpark of maybe 2,500, 3,000 pounds. So the payload's probably right around like 9,500 pounds or so, that'd be my guess. Yeah, we're pretty much done under here. I mean, you obviously need to check the ramps, make sure the ramps are in good shape, you know, at least for what you think they need to be. And then it's also always good to check the coupler. So in a gooseneck, it's gonna be a 2 5/16, and this one is not that beat up. So you're just gonna be looking for unusual wear and tear under the coupler, get a good look up inside of it, make sure nothing's bent or out of place, and make sure it moves freely back and forth, like so. And I got a spare, so that's nice. There's really not much to buying a trailer and things you need to look over pre-purchase. If it's the trailer you need and these couple basic things check out, well, then it's probably the trailer for you. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get this thing ready to put in service for me. I'm not gonna undercoat it today. I am going to clean the frame, but it's gonna need to dry. And then we're gonna grease the axle. All right, order of operations. Clean the frame, grease the axles, clean the deck, and it's gonna need to dry overnight, and then we're gonna oil the deck probably tomorrow. Oh, these are nice and easy grease. Perfect. That makes my life easy. So in this little hole, these are your hubs essentially. And in this little hole right here is a grease zerk. So you want to keep your bearings nice and greased. If you have the easy grease bearings, you just put a grease gun on there, grease them. If you do not, you need to take this cap off. There is going to be a nut behind there. So like looks like a castle nut. Take that castle nut off, and then there's going to be a bearing right there. You'll take that bearing out. You'll pull this whole drum off, the wheel and drum assembly, and there'll be a second bearing behind it. You're going to need to take both of those bearings out, and you're going to need to grease them. Either grease them by hand, by putting grease in the palm of your hand and hitting the bearing against it, or you're going to need to buy a greasing packer. Where's mine? A greasing packer. It's a bearing greaser. I don't know. I'm mixing up words here. Yeah, here's mine in there. I know you probably can't see it well, but it's basically two cones that you put the bearing in between. Put your grease gun on the end and just fill her up with grease. I should also mention, if you're going to be greasing these, don't just use your basic tractor grease, your gray grease, stuff like that. You want to actually get bearing grease, and this is lithium grease. That's what's meant to be in here for high temps. I only grease my trailer bearings probably twice a year, so what ends up happening is I'll put this in here in my grease gun. I'll grease everything, you know, these four wheels, and then my tractor just gets some really nice grease until this tube runs out. Don't forget to put your dust caps back on. Okay, this thing's ready to come down on the ground. All right, next thing. Now, this is gonna be optional for you. I want it to look nice. So we're gonna pull it outside, we're gonna power wash the deck, start fresh on this wood, and then it'll dry overnight, and tomorrow we'll oil it. I'm gonna grab the Hotsy. I've got it over there. I've got the big 24-inch surface cleaner. We'll use the surface cleaner, clean the stack off, hit the edges with the wand. We'll see you guys outside. All right, so now that we've got this old girl outside, it's time to power wash the deck off. Now, this deck as is really isn't in bad shape. It looks nice, but you know, it's new to me, so let's spend the time on it. I'm gonna go get the Hotsy out. If you don't know what a Hotsy is, it's a hot water pressure washer. I am not going to be using the hot water on the wood. It doesn't need it. It's just dirt and stone and stuff, but I'll grab the wand and the floor cleaner. That'll make this go lickety split. Yeah, it'll dry overnight, and then tomorrow we'll oil the deck. All right, I don't know if any of the last shots gave you a good shot of this deck. I just kind of want to give you a before cleaning. I don't know if there's going to be that drastic of a difference, but at least we now have a before. And like I was saying, this is the Hotsy right here. Hot water pressure washer. We're only going to be using the cold side of it today, so just the motor, not the burner. We're going to be pushing about 3,500 psi into this wood. I think this is my favorite feature of the Hotsy. I hate winding up power washer cords. Lines, whatever you want to call them. Well, guys, that's it for today. We got to let this old girl dry. And it looks like it was pulling a lot of mud off, so we might actually see a difference. It's kind of looking brighter already, but really to tell, we got to wait for it to dry. Gave the whole thing a quick bath while it was out here. You saw that. And now we're just going to let it dry overnight, and all day tomorrow. I think it's supposed to be about 85, so this should be nice and dry for us tomorrow night when it's time to oil it. All right, guys, well, it's the next day, and the trailer is nice and dried off now. We had a little bit of a sprinkle, but I don't think it's going to be an issue. So I guess before we coat this, I'll give you a little bit of a better after shot rather than seeing my big fat face in the way. And then what we're going to do is we're going to coat this thing with a little, what I like to call, trailer deck sealant. So there's your after. I don't know if it looks any better. It certainly doesn't look worse. I guess it looks a little bit better. It was just a little dirty, I guess. But we're going to seal it up because it looks a little dry. So the sealant we're going to be using today, or I don't know what you want to call it, the coating we're going to be using today is EPA certified trailer deck sealant. And if you know, you know. This wood is actually soaking it in a lot better than I thought it was gonna. Should have got a brush too, so I could do the edges here. This might actually need 2 coats. Well, I already need to go get more. I've already gone through my first little bottle that I brought out with me here. And I should mention, you're gonna hear some noise in the background. I got a buddy that's working on his truck in the shop. So I'm gonna go grab more and we'll continue this process. I don't know if I'm surprised by this, but I think this might actually need 2 coats. I guess it's not a bad thing. Just didn't expect it. All right, guys, well, the first coat is done, and you can see there's a big difference between the before and the after. So I think I'm gonna put a second coat on it because it's actually soaking it all up. Not surprisingly. I knew it was gonna do that. So I'm gonna let this soak and dry for probably about, I don't know, let's say 30 minutes. And I'll come back and hit it with another round of the sealant that I got here. And this is so nice, I should do it on the deck of my house. I guess I'll have to see what it's like in the rain first, if it's slippery or not. Well, I'll be completely honest with you, I think 2 coats is going to be plenty for this trailer. I could honestly probably wait another 30 minutes and do another coat, but realistically, I don't know what difference that would make. I think that's good and coated. And let me address the elephant in the room. Yes, I did fall off the trailer. It was in time lapse. Hopefully it was quick. Hopefully you didn't notice. And now that I told you, you can rewind and watch again and see if you can find it. So in the comments below, if you know what this is, then you know that, well, it works pretty well. If you don't know what it is, I'm not going to tell you. I can't share my secrets because, oh, some people probably get mad at me. But yeah, that's going to be it today, guys. This, I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. We've gone over everything you need to do when you buy a new to you used trailer to get ready to be put into service. This thing is going to be ready to go into service for me in a very soon upcoming video. I'm actually going to be making log bunks for this. If you don't know what log bunks are, I guess I'll put a video or something, not a video, a picture like right here to give you an idea what log bunks are. I want to be able to transport logs with this. While not the easiest, I'll have to use the tractor to get them off. I just can't afford a dump trailer right now. And I have the tractor, so I'll be able to fork them off, grapple them off, whatever I want to do. I just ordered the steel today, so I got to wait probably about a week for that to come in. And then we'll be in full fabrication mode to make some log bunks for this thing. I think that's going to be a pretty fun project. Before, I've never done something like that. We're going to do some learning together, and yeah, it'll be fun. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and leave a comment below. If there's something I missed that you would have checked out, leave a comment below, let me know what it is, and maybe in the future when I buy another trailer, I'll make an updated video. Until the next video, I hope you guys have a great day, and hopefully I'll see you again.